Joseline Hernandez's Puerto Rican Day Parade float was the battleground for a royal rumble yesterday, when a few of her dancers got into a cutthroat catfight. What was meant to be a day of joyful celebration turned quickly into a scene straight out of a reality TV finale. Dramatic, chaotic, and unforgettable. As the sun poured over the streets of Manhattan, casting its golden glow over crowds of cheering spectators, Joseline's float rolled through like royalty. Draped in crimson, gold, and the bold hues of the Puerto Rican flag, her float stood out like a crown jewel among the lineup. Loud reggaeton beats thumped from the massive sound system, shaking the concrete and igniting roars from the crowd every time Joseline waved or danced to the music. People pointed, screamed her name, held up phones, and danced along. Her fans were in full force, some donning her merch, others with makeup mimicking her signature bold looks. For a moment it was electric, a proud moment for Joseline, who had long fought to establish her name beyond the confines of reality television. But, somewhere between pride and spectacle, the lines blurred. The atmosphere on the float, as glamorous as it seemed from afar, had been simmering for hours with unspoken tension. You could see it in the stiff body language of the dancers, the way glances lingered too long, and how smiles felt a little forced, like everyone was trying too hard to keep it together. TMZ Hip Hop obtained video of Joseline's float completely parked in the streets of Manhattan around 3:30 p.m. at the annual Puerto Rican Day Parade while her entourage duked it out. In broad daylight, you can see Joseline standing towards the back of the float looking at the chaos as her fiancé Ballistic Beats attempted to break up the madness with one hand and a camera in the other. Yes, a camera. In true reality TV fashion, Ballistic couldn't seem to stop recording, even as the chaos unfolded inches away from him. He tried to be both peacemaker and documentarian, caught in that strange space between concern and content creation. A man aware that everything, even real conflict, was potential gold on screen. Some say he was filming for safety. Others whisper it was all for the Zeus Network, Joseline's new kingdom of unfiltered drama. From the street level, it was pure mayhem. One moment, the dancers were twirling, arms raised high in celebration, hips moving in rhythm to the parade soundtrack. The next, one dancer shoved another, sending her stumbling dangerously close to the edge of the float. Screams pierced through the music as the scuffle quickly escalated into a full-blown brawl. Hair was pulled, nails clawed through the air, voices raised in a violent crescendo of betrayal, accusation, and pent-up resentment. It's unclear what they were fighting over, but it's clear the group chose sides. You see another entourage member dressed in a black t-shirt and ball cap straight up cold cock one of the dancers with a punch after being frustrated with the fight not breaking up. The punch wasn't a flailing hit. It was calculated almost, cinematic in its precision. Gasps echoed from the crowd below. Some thought it was part of the act. Others immediately realized it wasn't. The dancer who got hit stumbled, wide-eyed and shocked, before launching a retaliation of her own. Every action has a reaction, and the punched backup dancer threw what appears to be a phone that narrowly missed Joseline's head, causing her to point as a warning. But she never gets activated like she did against Amber Rose. And let's pause on that for a second, because anyone who knows Joseline Hernandez knows she has a history of getting activated. She's not the kind to stand on the sidelines when drama goes down, especially if it happens within her kingdom. But this time was different. This wasn't just a nightclub or a TV reunion taping or a behind-the-scenes dispute. This was a national parade in one of the busiest cities in the world, in front of tens of thousands of eyes, and just as many cameras. There were children in the crowd, families, elders, people waving flags with pride, and Joseline, wearing a jeweled bodysuit with heels that made her tower like a goddess on that float, knew the stakes. Her eyes, usually quick to flash with fury, instead showed a flicker of restraint. She pointed, issuing what looked like a verbal command. Her energy said, "Don't make me come over there." But she held her ground. Her fiancé, meanwhile, was still trying to do the impossible, stop a street-level altercation atop a moving platform, record everything, and protect Joseline all at once. You could tell he was caught off guard. Not necessarily by the fight, because if you've watched even a few episodes of Joseline's Cabaret, you know that chaos tends to follow this crew, but by how quickly it unfolded in a public space. There were no cameras rolling for a network this time. This wasn't a stage set by producers. This was real, raw, and dangerously unfiltered. Her reality show also airs on the Zeus network, where fighting is like breathing. That sentence, though exaggerated, almost feels like an understatement for anyone familiar with the content Zeus pushes. Joseline's show has long been notorious for its volatile energy. Viewers don't tune in for calm dialogue or reconciliation. Arcs, they come for the fireworks. Screaming matches, physical altercations, walkouts, drink tosses, betrayal, loyalty shifts, and moments that blur the line between reality and absurdity. In many ways, what happened on the float was just another episode, except this time, the city of New York was the stage, and the audience didn't have the option to change the channel. We reached out to Joseline's team to see what all the fuss was about. So far, no word back. And maybe that silence speaks volumes. Because what can you really say in the aftermath of a public fight that was caught from multiple angles, shared across every major gossip platform, and dissected in real time by millions on social media? There's the damage control side, crafting, the statement, claiming misunderstandings, blaming heat exhaustion or miscommunication. But there's also the Joseline Hernandez brand to consider. A brand built on unfiltered truth, bold confidence, and not backing down. So staying silent might not be indecision. It might be strategy. Let the moment breathe. Let people talk. Let the views climb. The silence surrounding Joseline's camp was louder than the chaos on that float. For a woman who's never been shy about speaking her mind or defending her image, her decision not to immediately comment set social media ablaze. Fans, critics, and bystanders alike began filling in the blanks. Conspiracy theories popped up faster than parade confetti could. Hit the ground. Was it a staged moment for publicity? Was it an unscripted breakdown of leadership? Did old drama from the reality show finally spill into real life? The streets of Twitter and Instagram were crowded with clips, from every possible angle. Street level, rooftop, parade goers with front row views. The fight was immortalized in pixels. Slow-motion edits, reaction videos, and meme-ready screenshots circulated within hours. Influencers gave their 2 cents. Former cast members of Joseline's shows started posting cryptic messages, thinly veiled references, and passive-aggressive reactions that only added fuel to the already spreading fire. But amid the noise, something deeper began to take shape. Something more than just spectacle. What happened on that float wasn't just a petty fight between background dancers. It was a public breakdown of trust, a visible crack in the glamorous facade that Joseline had worked so hard to maintain. Her brand, after all, was built on power, control, and presence. To the outside world, she was a queen, a boss, an unapologetic force. But that day, she looked like a leader watching her empire teeter on the edge, physically and metaphorically. Those who were close to the event say the tension had been building all morning. One dancer allegedly showed up late. Another accused someone else of trying to upstage her. Words were exchanged during makeup and wardrobe prep. By the time the float began moving, the tension was so thick you could slice it with an acrylic nail. Joseline, to her credit, tried to keep the energy high. She danced. She smiled. She interacted with fans. But every now and then, her eyes would dart toward the dancers behind her, scanning for potential storms,